Hello, have you been stuck in that fast-paced cycle of life where you're always on the go, your calendar is jam-packed, you got to get the kids here, you got to go to this thing, you got to go to that thing, and you're so busy that you don't have any time to pause and think about you and think about what you're doing or how you're doing it, or even if you enjoy doing what you're doing? Well, this is the place for you. Welcome to Be Here Now, a Peaceful Empowerment Works production where presence invites perspective and allows peace. We are here today with John Tucker, who is going to talk to you about how you can slow your roll to know your role. Ladies and gentlemen, John Tucker.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are live on the new streamingnetwork.com TV podcast and WGSN-DB Going Solo Radio. Now, before we get started, if you enjoy our content and would like to help support the show, a free way you can do it is by like, comment, share, and subscribe. That would be fantastic. As you can see, Janice is not with us today. She's busy at her other job, but will be joining us again next week. And she usually gives you our spiel about the nonprofit. So I will. Janice and I donate our time and energy to provide this show for you every week. We love providing a platform for people to come on and share their wisdom and the many ways that they have been able to find and establish peace in their lives. If you would like to support that mission in other than our free like, comment, and share way, please feel free to go to our website at peacefulempowermentworks.org and make a tax-deductible donation. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so you can write that off on your taxes. peacefulempowermentworks.org. There's a donation button at the top and a donation button at the bottom. And we appreciate anything that you can send our way. All right. I think all of the formalities are done, and I, again, would like to thank you, John, for agreeing to be here now with us.
You are very welcome, and it is my privilege and honor.
Outstanding. Okay, so it was funny because John he watches the show, and he was like, Janice isn't going to be here. I'm totally bummed. I was looking forward to meeting her. And as we were talking, he was like, and do we have something to ground us in, like Janice's ringing bowl? And unfortunately, we don't have Janice and her ringing bowl. But we do have my love whistle. So we'll see how that works for us. You know, everybody get comfortable if you can. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In the pregame meeting, John and I were just talking about a million different things that we could talk about today. So whatever is supposed to be shared is grounded now. And I feel like we could be ready to proceed. How are you feeling, John?
Great and grounded. It really is an amazing time to be grounded. We're in Virgo, which is the sun sign Virgo, which is a earth sign, all about grounding. I personally am a Capricorn sun sign with Virgo moon and Virgo rising, so I've got so much earth. So luckily today I am feeling good and solid and grounded. And the world, I don't know, I'm just feeling that for the world right now. And I want to share what came up today in crystals, like, because I follow some of the crystal memes that, come across on Facebook. And this one for today, September 4th, 2025, the crystals are saying, as the week unfolds, the energy steadies, and you're reminded to slow down and listen to your inner voice. With Mercury now settling into Virgo, that's also happening, right? Clear thinking and sharper focus are within reach, but only if you give yourself space to breathe. Don't
Mm.
rush. Align your thoughts with where you want to go and let your actions follow with intention. The universe rewards clarity, patience, and steady faith. I'm telling you, when I read that, I was like, this could not be more perfect for today's program.
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
there is divine timing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautiful. Patience. That's that word. That word patience keeps coming up over and over again. And it's like, hurry up, universe, I'm being patient. No, you're not. That's been a big one for me. Patience. Okay. Wow,
You did
that's
make that
beautiful.
comment in the pre-show too. You said, "Yeah, I've been something." You said, and you're like, "Yes, I've been saying that for 4 years, so anytime now." But it's gonna.
Exactly. Let's go. So yes, I received that message, John. Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, if
All
you
right.
see me holding this, this is not something I'm going to hurt myself with. This is a piece of quartz that I just like to hold when I'm doing anything regarding channeling or reading. So that's. I figured it would be appropriate to help keep me grounded during the show today. So that's
Perfect. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna chat about a lot. So I told John I want to fly through the front end of the show so we can get right to him.
go ahead.
So let's on to an attitude of gratitude.
Yay.
Hey, and honestly, John, I was gonna put a picture of you up here because I'm so grateful you're here with us.
Aw,
But
sweet.
instead, I chose this picture because A, I love the beach. B,
Yeah.
I love sunsets. And C, that's my daughter, and I love her. So
Mhm.
these are all things I'm very grateful for. This was a trip to Cape May that Jen, Maddie, and I went on. And it was just so peaceful that when I saw this picture, it was like, yes, I'm very grateful for everything you see in this picture and everything it represents: beauty, peace, tranquility, and love. So that's my gratitude for today. John, do you have a gratitude for today?
Mm. Thankful for the wherewithal to know where I've been and relax myself enough and grateful to know to relax myself enough to forgive myself when I've forgotten something that I should have remembered or known. So there's a yes, gratitude for grace. There it
I
is.
love, oh my gosh, I love that so much. Gratitude for grace. And that grace for yourself is something that can be so difficult for us to accomplish. So gratitude for that. Yes. Yes. Amen.
It is. I've had to do it this morning. I was humbled this morning already with something that happened, and I was like, okay, how did I not know that? I learn something new every day. I'm thankful for that. Okay, maybe I should have remembered it, but I didn't. Okay, giving myself that grace to be
Mm.
okay. So, thank you for asking. That was really I did not see that coming. So, thank you. That
See,
was
I
not
don't know,
something we
John.
discussed previously. So,
No, not. I surprised him. I'm seeing a hashtag gratitude for grace. Hmm. All these hashtag things.
yeah.
Okay, and we have a good news story. Janice always likes to share a good news story. And me being a teacher for 24 years, I saw this. And, Janice, nothing against the one that you sent me, but when I saw this one, I knew that I had to use it because, again, being a teacher for 24 years, this hit me in the good feels. This story is about a teacher who, at the end of the school year, announces to her class that she is going to reveal who her favorite student was all year. And she calls the kids into the classroom one by one to look into this box. And they have to look into the box, and in the bottom of the box is a mirror. So every single student walks in, looks in the box, and sees their own face because she loves all of her students. And I thought, oh, what a great way to wrap up a year. And any teacher out there, anybody out there that works with kids or people, jobs anywhere, you have your ups and downs. So to be able to go into your summer with this little kick, boot, surge of love, understanding that your teacher saw you. And this was a class of 30 kids. So it's real easy to get lost when you have 30 kids and they look like they're about first, second grade, maybe. And yeah, it just warmed my heart. And there's a lot of teachers out there doing a lot of amazing work to intentionally have kids feel like they are seen and they are valued and they are heard. And this was just a beautiful way to wrap up the year, I thought. So that was my feel good story.
Beautiful.
Do you have a favorite teacher that stands out for you that made you feel seen and heard?
There are a few, but the one, and I started out in Catholic school, grades 1 through 4, got kicked out at the end of 4th grade. That's a whole nother story for a whole different show. But this, but, but for a school feel good story, my favorite teacher, Sister Teresa, 1st grade. She was just the kindest heart, and she was a young nun comparatively. Like when I think back about the school and the setting, I'm like, most of the other nuns were of a certain age and higher up there in years, but she was one of the young ones, and she was just so pleasant and so interactive with all of us. And she knew each of us, like what that teacher did. Like she knew little particular things about each of us that made none of us feel left out ever. I'm gonna start crying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't thought about her in a long time like that. Yeah, she was special. Definitely. So special. Thank you.
The power of being seen. The power of being seen as a child. It is so important. And that goes right along with the topic we're talking about today. Yeah, it goes right along with it. And
Yep.
I would have to say teachers that stand out for me. I had a 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Yanero. And I was a pretty good kid in school. I followed the rules and all that kind of stuff. She's the only teacher that ever gave me detention because I wouldn't shut up during math class. But she was my favorite teacher. So I didn't mind having to stay after school because it was just her and I, and all we did was chat. So I'm lucky I didn't intentionally get in more trouble just so I could have one-on-one time with her.
Nice.
Yes. And then there was Diane George. Diane George was my high school field hockey coach and basketball coach. Oddly enough, she was never my PE teacher, but I did become a leadership trainer for her. So, but she was someone that just really found a way to connect with each one of her athletes and students. And for me, that was a really big deal because I wasn't a natural athlete. I really had to work on it. And she saw how hard I worked and she always let me know. And that was really important for me and really shaped what kind of teacher and coach I turned into.
And didn't every one of those people really know patience? And to be able to do that, to be able to take the time they took with us, it's just, it's some people are just phenomenal, and we can aspire, right, to
Exactly.
to do that slowing down, to be able to collect and stop and pause and what do I need next, and where's my highest, greatest good right now? What is it? What is it I'm going to bring? What is it? And we don't pause today to do that.
No.
Not nearly enough.
No. Yes, and those teachers, the ones that we just talked about, the common thread, connection. They understood the power of connection. We have a comment from Wendy. Hi, Wendy. My second grade teacher had the biggest impact on me. We are friends on Facebook. I love it. And talk sometimes. And I have told her how important she was and still is in my life. Second grade was
Nice.
in the 80s. Okay.
That's so nice.
That's fantastic. Thank you for your comment, Wendy. All right. Awesome. Okay, John, now we're going to learn a little bit about you before we dive into
Okay.
all the things that we want to talk about.
Okay.
It's our segment called Pathways to Peace. All right. John, we're going to do your bio. John is a lifelong learner. He is a professional tarot card reader and a Reiki master. He is a student of the metaphysical, studying at Alta View Wellness Center in Harrisburg. And that is also where John provides tarot messages and guidance for his clients. John relies on the energy of the cards, aspects of astrology, and the assistance of his spirit and animal guides to offer information with intentions of healing. John is a college graduate and a proud U.S. Navy veteran who lives in Harrisburg with his spouse and their 6 rescue cats. His hobbies are reading and genealogical research. And again, thank you for choosing to be here now with us, John. All right.
You are welcome,
So
and I am blessed. Thank you.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to laugh because John and I are emailing back and forth talking about topics for the show, and he has so many wonderful things he wants to talk about. And when I read them, the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, we can call it Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself. And Jen looked at me and laughed, and she's like, that totally sounds like you, but this is John's show. So what does John want the topic to be? And John came back with slow your roll to know your role. And just with that, what exactly is it you're talking about? I wonder. It's not like we haven't touched on it yet. But what does that mean to you?
Acting versus reacting. What is it we're bringing to the world every day? What kind of decisions are we making in after every waking moment? Right? Because as we prepare for our day, as we prepare to leave the house, as we, how are we going to show up? And that is what that is about to me. And knowing when it's okay to not know, and giving yourself breathing room, and it's okay to stop and take a beat in the middle of it all. I posted something a couple of weeks ago on Facebook. It was just a random thought I had over one weekend, and I threw it out there, and I said, sometimes I have to remind myself that it's okay not to know it all in order to move forward. Like, there's plenty of things like I don't have to be completely ready for. So again, it's knowing when to, but being able at the same time to put our best foot forward. And how do we do that? We've gotta stop. We have to. I mean, because I remember how I thinking back, I remember as best I can. I'll say it that way. Just my own growth, my own path. I mean, this whole show idea. When you asked me, if I'd be interested, and I said yes, and it was like, okay, so if we're going to talk about this is the progression and the maturity that happens over time, because we all work with people who are at different levels, and we know people who are at different stages of maturity. And I remember 40 years ago, I was nonstop. I did not sleep nearly enough. I ate all kinds of wrong, but I didn't care because I needed to go. I needed more. If I was going to do this, then I needed to do this and this first. So there was no time for anything. I had to go.
Mm-hmm.
But as time unfolds, you start to realize it's okay.
So can you pinpoint a time or an event that made you realize that slowing down was what was needed? Or
a
was it
couple of them,
actually
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, there's actually one it happened in 1983. I think it was 83, it might have been 84. But I was in the Navy and we were out at a mall together, me and some shipmates that I had just had a very deep conversation with. And I had been struggling with comparing myself to others, and I was just not good enough. And I was coming across like a complainer, like one of like the four things that I always look for at people and say, please don't try to be one of these four things. One of them is a victim, one of them is needy, one of them is entitled, and the other is righteous. Those are the four things I always try to stay away from. So with that in mind, here I was being all of those things, being a little whiner. Because I wasn't there yet, right? I wasn't where I am now. But looking back, I know exactly what I was doing. And one of my friends was very wise. In fact, his nickname, and I'm going to say his name on here in case he's out there, David Hayes. I don't know whatever happened to you, but God love you. You were the best. His nickname was Gandhi because he was just so advanced in his years, like wisdom wise, and he was so much fun to be around. And he was very thin and wore glass. I mean, he looked like Gandhi. It was just so perfectly fitting. Anyway, he says to me, Tucker, there's never a reason to do this. It's a waste of your energy because there's always going to be people who are better and there's always going to be people who are lesser than you. So stop it. And I was like, yeah, okay, you're right. Like, I didn't want to hear it. Well, we're just happened to be walking through a bookstore and I randomly, and we're just just wasting time. I don't know, we were waiting for the next bus or whatever. And I just happened to reach up and pull this book down, and it was a short poem in book form called Desiderata. I had never before heard of it, and I opened it to a particular phrase. But before I tell you which one, I'm going to let you guess. I'm going to read it first, if it's okay with you, if I may do that. It's about a 2-minute read. Is that okay?
Okay, you know what, John? Let's wait for a commercial and then read it when you get back. Okay?
Sounds good. All right, thank you.
Commercial break, and we'll be back with John's poem. I always dance through the commercial. Welcome back to Be Here Now. We are here with John Tucker. And John is going to read a poem for us. What's the name of this poem again?
Desiderata. If you want to spell it, I'll spell it afterward. So it's origins have different conflicting things by different people, say it came from different places, but here's the poem. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantments, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly to the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness, beyond a wholesome discipline. Be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe no less than the trees and the stars, and you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy.
Whew. That's dripping with golden nuggets everywhere.
It is.
Wow.
And I happened to pull this off the shelf out of like an entire bookstore, and that one, and I opened it to the part where it said about, if you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. What an aha moment. I mean, my friend, I ran over to him. I'm like, Gandhi, you just said this like how many hours ago? We just had this conversation. He's like looking at me. He's like, I know, Tucker. Yeah, so you went and found it in the bookstore. I said, I didn't find it. It came to me. Like it jumped off the shelf. Like I was just walking by and there it was. And I couldn't even see it. I had to reach up and pull it down. I'm like, let me show you where I found this thing. This is how insane this is. I mean, it was totally this divine intervention, like this moment in time and space. And it affected me greatly. I mean, it changed me. This, and then the poem itself, my God, I mean, I love it. I've read it a lot in my life. I've got it framed in my office. I have it. It's just part of who I am. And I've given it away as gifts as well, printed versions of it. So it is, that to me was a huge, one of several aha moments for me in my life and my growth. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, for anybody who wants that poem, we'll put it in the comments when the show posts. Okay.
The spelling is, you want the spelling? DESIDERATA.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll have John send me his version, and then we'll just put it in the comments, or John can comment and put it there. Awesome. Wow. So that's one of the pivotal moments for you. So that helped you start working on the concepts of giving yourself grace.
Yes. And yes, yes.
Snap your finger kind of change. It was.
It wasn't, right? I mean, it's an aha moment that we all, hear talk about or see people have, or have a couple epiphanies like that in our own lives. But no, it wasn't an overnight change. It couldn't be, right? I mean, I had to adjust who I was to come closer to that, because I was still that person who had said those things earlier that same day, who was the whiny little thing I was. And then to have this happen later, that was just such a like, holy crap, the universe heard me and has answered, and I had damn well better pay attention. So that was, and then it's a very slow unfolding, because I'm still in the military, right? So it's like, okay, you got to kind of put that aside, and you still got work to do over here. So yeah, it's the whole mundane thing. There's no real time to get anything, spiritual rolling, but I still had all of that inside. And it did help me to grow in other aspects and other respects and do other things better, even while I was active duty. And then even when I got out, and then, all the way up to today. And some other things, of course, happened along the way. There's another big one that happened in 2014 I can talk about, but see where else this goes right now. What else do we have?
Well, the question I keep hearing is, that's fantastic. So it's funny, John, because I'm seeing where that poem and that ignited that light in you, that flicker became the flame again, and you started to shed things that just didn't align with that. And that's fantastic. At what point did you learn that you needed to slow down?
2014. It was when I had my accident that made my legs what they are today. The fact that I have to walk with a cane now. I was always, if ever I was out and about, or if there was a party, I was on the dance floor. Well, that, had to come to an abrupt halt when I had an accident at home, where I don't even want to go into the details because it sounds horrible, but I didn't have any knee replacements or anything. That's good. Everything I have is my own. They just had to go in and fix what I tore. And I was in a nursing home for 7 weeks, and, you know, I was the youngest person there, but I learned. And I felt while I was there that I'm going to be okay later in life. This is like everything did slow down. It had to. Like, you're there to recover and go
Mm-hmm.
through your therapies, and the growth back is slow. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to give myself the time, and so did everybody else. So it was like, okay, you know what? This isn't the worst. And the people I have met since and because I was there, sad as this may sound, I don't think I would change anything,
Mm.
because it it led me to Spirit of Oneness. It
Ooh.
Because in 2015, I had to have a second knee operation, well, because one of them didn't take as well as the other. So
Mm-hmm.
after that, I was out. That was in June, and now it's, you know, October. Months later, I'm out taking a walk on a weekend in my neighborhood, and that's where Spirit of Oneness happens to be. I live in Uptown Harrisburg, only like less than 5 blocks, I think, from the Zembo Mosque where this was being held that year. And
Mm.
I'm like, well, that looks interesting. Let's go in here. So I went in, and I knew the person at the door, and I'm like, Sabrina, what are you doing here? I didn't know you. How do you know this? Oh, I work at Alta View Wellness, and this is running the place this way. And then John, he knew Sabrina also from, because they're both ex Jehovah's Witnesses, and they had shared other stories already, and they knew of each other. So they were friends. I'm friends with Sabrina. So we knew people, and it's like, oh my God, what is this? And it was on a Sunday. So it was the second day of it. Well, we just
Okay.
never left. I mean, we stayed and we stayed and we stayed. And I won a door prize with Angie. And then, you know, I got with her then in March, 6 months later and 5 months later. And it was all over but the shouting, because it was just a matter. I mean, you know, I met my spirit animal there. I was hoping for a tiger, of course, because that's the tattoo I have on my right arm from when I was in the Navy. But now, you know, a turtle. Okay, I'll go with that. That'll have to be. That's one of my two. I have a second one now, and that's rabbit. So I have turtle and rabbit, tortoise and the hare. Yes, those are my spirit animals. But in any case, so always the yin and the yang, right? With me, always the moon and the sun, always back and forth. So, but that was it. I mean, we have just been going back ever since, nonstop. I'm sure we made a pain in the neck for the next year when we went in 2016, because we stayed all day for 2 days, just going around and going all the classes and buying stuff and looking at stuff and taking the classes and asking questions. And I know we were a pain. I look back and I think, God, the generous people that were here that put up with us. Oh my God. But and now, you know, now we're part of the institution, and I love it because it's just so, it's twofold. It's rewarding to be able to help and to provide, and it's also so enriching personally just to be there and to gain other aspects, perspectives, and the love of everybody
Mm-hmm.
else there. I'm gonna start crying again. Okay. So that's how we got into Spirit of Oneness. And yeah, it would never look
Okay.
back. Yeah.
So it took an accident for you to
Yes.
learn to slow, and for
Yeah.
you to realize that slow is the way to go.
And thankfully too, because of maturity, right? I mean, after so many years, because again, even if I was only in my 20s or even 30s when this happened, or probably even 40s, I probably would not have reacted the way I did, with the grace that I now have allowed myself. So it really is about, you know, choosing to act or react. How much are we going to, how much time and valuable time, and where are we placing our intention? That to me, I mean, it's that culmination, it's that mix, it's that blend. And it works for some people, and for other people, it's just always going to be out of reach until they can slow their roll, I think.
Yeah. Um, it's interesting because as you were sharing about the accident and having to be in the nursing home for 7 weeks, I kept hearing, you know, you don't have to wait for something catastrophic or something that um, that literally takes your knees out from under you, because there had been signs prior to that that you needed to slow down. Is that
Oh yeah.
accurate?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because I had started, I had, I was dipping my toe in. There's a Buddhist center not far from here too, between here and in our neighborhood. I mean, I live in one of the like most amazing little neighborhoods in the city of Harrisburg. It's amazing. Like library, pizzeria, Chinese restaurant, laundromat, bus stop. I mean, it's all, I can walk to any of them within minutes, even as slow as I'm rolling. So it's just an amazing, and the Buddha center, I mean, everything, the Zembo, the Italian lake, it's all right here. Anyway, that whole, I was going Sundays to meditate at the Buddha center, and it was helping. Meditation is amazing. And I was real, and I still do. And it helped tremendously through my recovery as well. So I was already like, but the universe was like, okay, you're not going. Here's the irony, right? Wait to hear what I'm going to spill out of my mouth next. We're not moving fast enough, so you got to slow down harder. What? I mean, this is like,
Well, what? Yep, that's the funny of the universe.
yeah, it is. But
Okay.
if we move along and we pay attention, and we do everything we can.
And John and I were talking in the pregame about how, it's not that we know so much more than everybody else. It's just that for me, I surrendered to the fact that I didn't know anything. And when I surrendered to the fact that I don't know anything, then it's like I gave myself permission to be curious and to explore and experiment. And this is where, I started to realize that where I once felt I didn't have choices, I did have choices. And it helped me to slow down and look at what's going on. And I talk a lot about being on the observation deck and getting above the emotions, not dulling them, numbing them, pushing them away like I did for years and years and years, but being able to like sit above and watch myself move through it and still feel it and understand that I don't have to be my emotion. I can experience the emotion and let it flow through me and let it go. But that could only come with slowing down.
And that's very profound. And it's something that you look to achieve in meditation. If you can during meditation sit and try to keep your mind clear, and if you can eventually become like a third person within your meditation, observing the thoughts going by and not being a part of the thoughts. And what you just said just took me there, because it's such that it's a realization like, hey, this can be good for me.
Yes. And it feeds right to responding versus reacting.
Yes.
Because reacting is autopilot. It's based on experiences from the past. Whereas responding means you were able to step back and look at what's going on and then act in a manner that is right and perfect for you. Yeah.
All decisions.
So,
and are we doing it cerebrally, or does it become second nature? I mean, that's the next part of the work, right? Because it isn't easy. It's work.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Going from look at what that summer's done to me to why is this happening for me? What am I supposed to be learning here? That for that to become the automatic response to any situation took years and years and years of repetition and catching and releasing and all of those things. It takes time because the autopilot we have running in us now, it took a lot of repetition to get that to the autopilot state. So the repetition, it like literally reconnects nerve endings that have been severed because we haven't used them.
Yes. And if I can add one more idea behind that, a lot of this is the separation too between ego and living a better life. But the ego is important because it keeps us alive. So we still need it, but where can we let go and not have to suffer having our ego, because ego brings suffering too, as you'll learn in Buddhist meditation. So that's why you have to try to divorce yourself from the ego, but not quite completely, because you still want to stay alive, because so and that's the rewiring in my mind of the brain cells and nerve endings going on, right? Because it's all gotta get there. And here's the other beautiful thing that I've learned through, like, physically, and it's less than 10 years. I don't know if it's as few as 7, but every 7 to 10 years, somewhere in there, every cell in our body has died and been replaced with a new cell. So we are literally different people, and yet we still have those memories of the people of who we were 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, right? So we still have those memories and those emotions. Like, you saw me tearing up before, thinking about, Sister, that was in the 1960s, Sister Teresa. So, I mean, that was, so I still have those emotions and those feelings. So that, to me, also is a bridge to my metaphysical faith. The fact that this is not the end. There's if I've been replaced 4 times already since then, or 5 times since the 1960s, and I still carry that and have those emotions and memories and thoughts, well then, okay, yeah, it's all energy, and it's still me. So when I'm done with this, then I'm going to move on to the next, and I'm okay with that.
Yes, me too. And to touch on the ego thing, what I was able to, in my mind, it's, I call it the immature ego and the mature ego. And my immature ego kept me safe based in fear, whereas my mature ego keeps me safe based in truth. Show me the truth. And we can work with it. I don't want to live in survival anymore. I want to live with the foundation of love and truth and joy. And it was a battle, because that ego is going to do whatever it can to keep you safe. And when it's you sparking in fear, it will scare the shit out of you every chance it gets.
Yes.
Because going into the unknown is very scary. It's very scary.
But I was going to say, but I'm sorry to interrupt, but how enabling is that maturity, that mesh, that melding? How enabling is that then for your future self, for your next day on this earth? That is so enabling in my mind.
Yeah, it's and everybody sees it differently. However it aligns with them. That's what has helped me. Is this feeding love or is it feeding fear? Well, if it's fear, then okay, what are we afraid of? What's going on? And 9 times out of 10, it's my inner child at some age that something happened and imprinted, and there's a fear there. A lot of it is fear of the unknown, because even if what you know is really crappy, at least you know.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So it's definitely a process.
And it is, but not everybody knows it, like we were saying earlier, because everybody right now, like even us sitting here right now, we're here together, but we're in our own space. Everybody who's ever going to watch this is going to be in that moment, and we're going to be doing our thing in that moment too, which isn't going to be in that same space. We're all in our own every moment. So, it's also okay that we have to realize to allow everything else that's going to happen, and not try to control everything. We can't. There's a lot of letting go in slowing your roll. There really is a lot of letting go.
Absolutely. All right. This has been fantastic. You are going to be offering readings at Spirit of Oneness, tarot card readings, correct?
Yes.
Do you offer Reiki as well?
I'm not typically there, but I will do chair Reiki. I don't have the table set up anywhere to offer, but I can do chair Reiki. I can do long distance Reiki. I've done that already for people. I haven't attuned anybody yet, So I don't have the materials in place right now, probably not until after I quit my day job to do, to take the time to actually, promote doing that. So I haven't actually done that, but yes, Reiki I will offer, not in the usual lying down state though, but not at Spirit of Oneness. I'm only doing tarot card readings at Spirit of Oneness.
Okay, great. Now, if somebody wanted to find you to schedule an appointment, a reading, how can they find you, John?
They can text me at that number, 717-608-4690, or call, and I can try to schedule them the next time I'm going to be at Alta View Wellness. I do have seats available this Saturday. I have vacancies starting at 11:30 in person. I also will do online readings if anybody is interested in that. And yeah, we can talk about that. I do have clients that I meet with maybe once every month or two, depending on their schedules. Online is if they are interested, and some, yeah, I do have repeat customers there as well. I'm going to be reading on Sunday. So this Saturday, I'm at Alta View on the 6th, and then on the 14th is a Sunday. I'm going to be here in Harrisburg at the Jewish Community Center. They're having a wellness day from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Trish Zook, she's also going to be there, and she does reflexology. And she's the one who let me know that this was going on, and they had a table available. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll sign up. So I did. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a new experience right here in my neighborhood also. So yeah. So much going on in this little neighborhood. I just can't believe where I live. Really, really lucky, really fortunate.
All right. Well, John, we got to wrap it up. We have actually run over. We're going to go ahead and skip something to chew on this week because we've already run long. So,
okay.
On this, we have Trish Zook on the show next week. And we will be talking to her about reflexology. Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So I already gave her that. Wow. That was a nice little segue.
Thank you so much for choosing to be here now with us. Please always remember you are not alone, and don't ever forget you are awesome. We'll see you next time. Thank you, John. Thank you, Severio.
Thank you. Blessings. Be well.